Except, as usual, I can't even do that properly. That's what you're about to be learning. Okay, so again, you're just using the formula. The formula is written right there. You put in everything you know. So, what do we start with? Do we know our final amount? Yep. We know our final amount because he started with that and he added that much interest. So do we know our final amount? Of course we do. It's 9,347.62 equaled 6,500 bracket 1 plus, I don't know the rate, but it was semi-annually, so how many times a year? Twice. Over how many years? 5 years. Compounded how many times a year? Twice. So you just find R by doing algebra, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And you get what for an interest rate? He waited patiently for his entire class to give him the first answer from the assignment that he gave 2 days ago. He waited patiently. Fortunately, he has 80 minutes to wait and a full cup of coffee. So, since you didn't do the work, you're welcome to do it right now because I don't plan to write the right answer until I hear an answer from you people. And it needs to be something respectable. So, I'll just wait. Yes, YouTube world, this is how it goes. Fan of mine in Houston, this is a normal day. I have one, Pernie. You laugh, but I have a fan in Houston. Texas, not BC. The real Houston. I'll just be doing a crossword. You get back to me when you're ready.
1,926.
How can your annual rate of interest be 1,000? So, no. 0.074 is not a rate. That's the decimal that we would use to find the answer. So at least, Louis, you had some of the numbers right. 7.4%. Well done. Get out. You can wait out there for a while. Sit out there. That's you two. I'll deal with you three in a minute. Number 5. Again, what are we looking for? The amount. So we don't know that. So we are just using the formula. 8,000 bracket 1 plus. What's the rate? 0.092 over 4 to how many years? Compounded how many times? 4. How much money did he have? Pardon me, Derek? $15,121.95. Well done. Number 6. What are we looking for? We are looking for the P. You want $20,000 for college. How much does Granny have to give you? You don't know. But you do know that she was getting 0.068 compounded semi-annually. Now, in grade 3 is when she started. So how many years when you go to college? I know it requires you to count. I know you can do it. 10! Sweet! Because grade 3 is the first year she did it, right, Damaris? So you got to count 3.
Okay.
And it's twice. How much did Granny start with? He waited patiently. Music to my ears, the tic-tac of calculators.
Wait, 4 years, isn't it supposed to be like 1/2? I mean, for time.
2. Twice a year.
Yeah.
And she did it she started when you got into grade 3. So she did that for 10 years. Grade 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Compounded twice a year.
Like for T.
Yeah. 10 years. T is how many years she had it in the investment. She started when you were in grade 3. When you were in grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12. 10 years. The 2 is how many times a year it was compounded. So in that first year, there were 2 compounds. Second year, there were 2 compounds. So that's 4 compounds, right? So 10 years at 2 compounds a year is 20 compounds. So what's the answer? 10,256? 56.4. Okay. I don't have that. I have 10,247, but I don't care. Because that's close enough. And number 7. I want the amount. I start with 4,000. 1 plus 0.072 over what? 12. How many years? 4 years. How many compound periods? 12. Punch that in. 5,330.44. Now, I am going to go, I have to pause this. So what we are talking about here is this situation. You all know that 7x equals 49. How do I solve that? I divide by 7. Why do I divide by 7? Pardon me? It isolates the x. But why do I divide when I could add, subtract? Because this is multiply. I'm trying to reverse what's there, yes? Okay, so if I have this, x squared equals 9, what do I do? I reverse what I see, which is the square, reverse of square, which is square root, right? If I have this, x cubed equals 27, what do I do? Cube root of 27. If I have x to the 4th equals 16, what do I do? 4th root of 16. So everybody can do this, yes? Everybody can do algebra up to here. There's one kind of algebra that if you live in this country, you have not been taught yet. And it is this kind of algebra. 2x equals 16. Now, you all know that that's a 4, right? Because 2 to the 4th is 16. You all know that, yeah? Right? But how you find it are these things. And they're called logs. They exist in this form, the word log, which you will see on your calculator. They exist in this form, ln, which is a similar operation, but not the same thing. Okay? But you don't need to know them for anything really until next year. Right? This year, we need it just for this last half of this unit. That's why it's not been part of the curriculum up until now. So I'm going to teach you how to use it for this application. Now, normally, do I ever teach you math that way? I never teach you how something is used for one specific thing, do I? I give you everything. But this case alone, I'm going to show you this one specific thing. Everybody cool? And this is what it looks like. So you can see it's all color-coded, yes? And down here, it explains. The blue is the base. Where's the blue here? 3. So how would I write 3 as a base? How do I write the base when I'm not dealing with logarithms? In regular numbers, how do I write a base? The big number, 3. And I'll keep it blue. Everybody cool? The green one is the exponent. Where's the green? 4. How do I write an exponent? Little number, 4. Equals, oh, that should have been in black, but whatever. Equals, and A is what's called the argument, and that's orange. Okay? Does everybody see how it works? 3 to the 4th is 81. 5 squared is 25. Is everybody cool? Okay, now, this little thing down here, you know it as a base, right? Okay. Now, something that used to be taught to you guys way back in the day, well, not to you guys because you never saw this, but something that used to be taught to us when we were your age was a different definition of the word base. You all know base as being 3 here, yes? And we call it the base because it's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, yeah? Okay. We learned a different thing. Do any of you know how computers speak to each other? How? Binary, with numbers, 0 and 1. Now, computers have gotten slightly more complicated, and now they use hexadecimal, which is 0 to 9, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. No, G. Stops at G. No, H. I can't remember. It's not important. It's H. Hexadecimal means that instead of having, we use 0 to 9, which is base 10 in numbers, because there's 10 digits, right? Some of your mother countries have talked about this. If you've taken computers, you maybe have talked about this, but chances are you haven't really talked about this in math, ever. So there's other bases. For example, base 2 is binary, 0 to 1. Those are the only numbers allowed in it, okay? Hexadecimal, the way computers talk to each other now, is 0 to 9 and A to H. So numbers look like this, 7G. That's a number to a computer. Everybody cool? Okay, so this is talking about bases, meaning you can only use certain numbers. Everybody all right with this? Now, normally when we do a log, we just write log 100, or log with an argument, which is A. This, when there's no number there, it's because we are using the number 10, base 10, which is our regular number system. Everybody cool? So, for example, log of 100 would equal what? 2. Because this should be a 10, and 10 squared is 100. Is everybody cool? Logs find exponents. Is everybody all right? So let's do a couple of these. I'll stop the... I think the best thing to do is to show you number 8 and then let you try number 12. Okay? Because number 8 has logs, right? Okay, so let's start. When you got to number 8, you should have gotten stuck, but you would have filled in the equation as much as you could, yes? So, what did we know in number 8? Pardon me? 10,000 is the amount. That's what I'm getting up to, yes. What did I start with? 1,000 times 1 plus, what was my rate? 0.08 over what? 1, because it's compounded annually. So do I need that 1? No. So 0.08 to what power? T, because I don't know how many years, right? Now, do this math. This is 10,000 equals 1,000 times 1.08 to the T, yes? Everyone agrees? Okay. Now, what could we do now? We could put this into here, couldn't we? Could we do that? Why not? What do I technically need to do first? Exponent, right? So I can't do anything with this on the right-hand side of the equation. But can I do something to get rid of it? What? I can divide by 1,000. Everybody cool? If I divide the right side by 1,000, what do I got to do to the left side? Divide by 1,000. What's 10,000 divided by 1,000? 10. So 10 equals 1.08t. Right? Now, what do we remember from what we just learned? How can I write this out? Remember, 4 to the 2 equaled 16. So, log what?
Log
2 of 16 equaled 4, right? Is that right? Is that what we just talked about? I'm asking you. It's like 2 seconds ago. Is everybody cool? Okay, so how can I apply that here? Log t of what? 10 would equal what? 1.08. That doesn't really help me, does it? So, I forgot to turn my phone sound off. I just got an email. Who could it be? eBay. I'm supposed to protect my account. It's checking to make sure my personal information is up to date. Thanks, eBay. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, I haven't taught you how to do this, so if you're from another country, you already know. If this was 1.08t equaled 10, what would we do? We'd have to do some division, yes? Okay. So, in this case, we are going to do something to both sides of the equation, right? If we take a log of both sides, I'm going to get log 10. Agreed? If I take a log on one side, what do I got to the other side? I got to log it, right? Okay. So I'm going to have the log of 1.08, right? And I need the t. Yeah? So log and log are both 10. So now, what do you think I should do here? I still got my t chilling out here now. What math would get that t by itself? What part of algebra? If it was 4t equaled 10, what would I do? Divide by 4. So what do you think I should do here? Divide by, no, I want t by itself, don't I, Aka? I always want t by itself. So what do I need to divide by? 1.08? Log 1.08. Cancel. And now that's going to equal t. Now, how do you do that on your calculator? You find the log button, the one that says log 10, divided by log 1.08. And what do we get? 29.91. How many years? 30 years. T equals 30 years. Everybody cool? Logs are how you find these. Now, they have a crap ton of other uses, but we're not going to get into them until next year. Well, I won't be getting into them with you at all, because if you take Pre-Calculus 12, it will be with Mr. DeVries. Okay? If some of your math journeys are ending right here, you will never, ever do a log if you are from Canada. If you're not from Canada, you've already done them. Okay? All right. So, 9, 10, and 11 are just the same, or normal. So, back to our equation. What's our equation for 9? A equals 500 1 plus 0.03 over semi-monthly. If it was monthly, it would be 12, but it's every half month. So what would it be? 24. Because it's every half month. So there's 2 per month, and then there's 12 months in a year. 24 to what power? No. 6 months is how long? Half a year, right? And how many payments? Compounded semi-monthly. How much interest has Rob earned after 6 months? What's my year? 0.5. And how many times a year?
24.
So what's my answer? 712? 507.55. That's his amount. What was the interest? $7.55 is interest. How do you know that's interest? Well, he started with 500, now he's got 507.55. Are we all good? Okay, what about 10? How is 10 different from 9? Pardon me? He owes money. He's borrowing. So essentially the bank is saving, yes? Okay. So what would I do here? Can I use simple? Can I use compound? Should I use simple? Should I use compound? Which one should I use here? Read the question. Which one should I use? I should probably use simple. Why, Ayaka?
Because you don't know the interest.
But we know how to find that.
Yeah, so.
Why would I use simple here? What word is missing from the question? Compound. You don't know it's being compounded. So you should have read the question and done simple. What's the P? What's the P? 1,250. What's the R? I don't know. What's the T? 7/12. What's the I? This is tricky. $150. And then I do algebra, right? So, what's the answer? If I do simple. I'll wait while you figure it out, because I can tell most people seem to have either not done it or done it poorly. While you're doing that in simple, I'll write it out in compound. Why must I stop here? For those of you that wanted to do this in compound, why must I stop there? Because you don't have an n, do you? Right? Now, you can make some assumptions, right? What's the easiest assumption to make? That it's compounded how many times, Deepinder? Annually, right? So if I leave that as 1, then I've got 1 plus r, right? To what power? How many years is it in there? 7/12 times how many compounds in a year if I've assumed it is 1? 1. So you would solve that one. But you can't really do that one because you don't know if it's compounded. So what did you get over here? 0.206. That's a decimal. What's that as a rate? 20.6%. That's a crazy high interest rate. That's payday loan interest rate. That's how payday loan companies make money, and that's how they are destroying our society. Payday loan stores are the evilest thing that is legal in Canada. They're absolutely evil. Do not ever use them. Find a friend to borrow money from and risk losing that friend forever before you go to a payday loan company. Do you all understand me? Don't do it. Because that is the type of interest they charge. 20% over the course of 7 months. That's crazy. You know what your mortgage is from the bank if you get a house? About 3% per year. A bad credit card charges you 20% a year. These people are charging you that over a course of months. Don't borrow money from them. And hopefully the Canadian government will save the day and stop allowing them to do it. But I don't think they will. Because once you stop some businesses, you have to be worried about stopping other businesses. And where do you draw the line? Right? Cigarettes are killing us. We're still allowed to sell them. Okay. Number 11. 3 questions, 3 different scenarios, exact same question. But it's borrowing, yes? So, what do I do? The amount is now going to be what? It's not going to be what's in my bank. What's it going to be? The amount I borrowed or pay back, right? But nothing else changes. How much did I borrow? 60,500. 1 plus, what's my rate? 0.13 over, in this case, 12. Why 12? Because it's compounded monthly. Josh will repay the loan after half a year. So how many years? 0.5. How many compounds? 12. How much will Josh pay back? 0.56. Well done. What if it's weekly? What changes? All the 12s become 52. And how much will he pay back then? And lastly, compounded daily. What do the 52s become? 365. 365 times 0.5. And what will he pay back then? What? You're not using your phone with the... But you're not using this on your phone? Yeah? Okay, this last question. This is a problem, right? I said you couldn't do it because it's how long will it take? Everyone heard that, right? And that, right?
Yeah.
And that?
Yeah.
What's going on out there? Somebody look. How can you not want to look? Somebody walks by there, which happens all day. All of you are like, hey man, how's it going? Hey! It sounds like our school is blowing up and you're all like, oh yeah. I care so much about math, I can't even look out the window. What's going on? I just heard about that. Was that this school?
No.
Oh, okay. It's always a good idea to try to do stuff that's in movies, because movies are real life, right? Of course they are. It's a great idea. We should all build DeLoreans and power them with plutonium. Of course we should. Why not? All right. What I don't understand is why anybody cares, quite frankly. You guys want to kick the crap out of each other. Regardless, it's dumb. If you're going to fight, have a reason for it. If you're fighting to prove you're a man, have a reason for it. Go on. What do we got here? Why is this a problem? How long will it take? Where in this equation is the time? It's up in the exponent, isn't it? Right? Which means that's where the unknown is, right? Which is why you couldn't solve it unless you knew how to do logs, which we know now, yeah? So let's try it. Fill in what we know. Do I know my amount? What is it? 14,304.51. Do I know my principal? What is it? 10,000. 1 plus, do I know my R? What is it? 0.045 over 4, and it's 4t. Right? Because I don't know how many years. Everyone agree? Okay. How can I tidy this up so it's as clean as possible before I get to what I don't know what to do? But I do know what to do now. But let's pretend it was 2 days ago when you were actually doing this homework and you didn't know what to do. What would you do right there? Most of you probably stopped right there. But now you could at least think, oh, okay, wait a minute. I can get rid of that 10,000. How? Divide. So I'd have to divide this side by 10,000. Agreed? Everyone cool? And what does that give me? How many decimal places does it move to divide by 10,000? 4. 1.43045 equals. Can I do this? Can I tidy this up?
Yeah.
What's 0.045 divided by 4?
1.0112.
So this is 1.0112, I believe. You just said 25. All of that to what? 4t. Agreed? Everyone cool with that? Yeah? Okay. How do I get this 4t isolated now? I know I need a log, yeah? So I know both these sides are getting log. And then how do I get the 4t isolated? By dividing, right? So I'd have log 1.43 ... all this, right? Over log 1.011 ... Everybody cool? Now, here's where it's going to get a little tricky. What is that going to equal? 4t. When you do this with your calculator, what do you get? 36 equals 4t. Now what?
Then put the 4.
Divide by 4. T equals what?
T equals
9 years. All of you should have been able to get to there-ish, right? And then you needed to learn logs. Now again, please listen to me. There is more to logs, which are logarithms, ln, which are natural logarithms, which are something different. And then there's another thing, en. E is a number like pi. It's an irrational number that goes forever. And you've seen it on your calculator. You've seen en. Okay? It's got a use in finance that we're going to talk about after the break. Okay? Now, when you turn the page over, you will see there are 16 more questions on interest. But you cannot do number 9 and 10 because they talk about continuous compounding. What does that mean? What do you think continuous compounding means? It compounds every millisecond of every day. This is where we use this number, e to the n. This number. I don't want to explain it to you today because your minds are already, logs, bleh. And this requires me to draw a graph. It looks like this. That. No, maybe it looks like that. I can't remember what it looks like. No, it looks like this. But you're not going to use that today because you're not going to do 8 and 9. Okay? Yes?
I think that's 32. I just did it, but it was 32.
Oh, okay. I didn't. I trusted Deepinder with his calculator. Well, let's check. Log of 1.43040451. I forgot the 4. 143.0451 divided by log, what is it? 1.01125.
Yeah.
This is 31.3 I get. So whatever. Doesn't matter. The method is what is important, yes? And if you showed me all this work, what would I give you out of 4? 2? You did all this work? I can't give you 4 if you told me it was 9, because that would be wrong. 3 would be a B. You think all this work is only a B? 3.5. Right? It's not perfect, but you have everything there. Right? You saw when I punched into my calculator, I missed the 4, didn't I? Right? I missed this 4, yeah? When I punched it in the first time. If I didn't catch it and rewind and fix it, oh, see? So I missed the 2. Right? Is that not knowing what to do, or is that fat fingers? Or, in this case, very skinny fingers that don't actually work? Which is it? Is it not knowing what to do, or is it hitting the wrong button? Hitting the wrong button. Now, if I said it was 31.9 divided by, or what was it, 31.3? So if I did that divided by 4, see, it doesn't even work. Answer divided by 4. 7.8 years. And you said it was 8 years because you had 31.99 or whatever. Yeah. And Deepinder said it was 9 years but he wrote it all out. Do you really think I am going to punish you for that? Yeah. If you think I'm going to punish you for that, that hurts my feelings. Honestly, have you not seen the way I mark your tests? I find marks for you. I'm like, oh, I think this kid meant to say this here, 3 out of 4. Hurtful. 2. Would you get 2 for that in Japan?
Yeah, I think no marks.
You would get no marks? Even if you did all this and put...
Sometimes.
What would happen in Brazil? Hey, what would happen in Brazil? 1 or 2 out of 4? Shut up, really?
If the teachers are strict, you don't have marks. If the teachers are nice.
Wow.
Like 1 mark. So, yeah. And we we're not allowed to use it.
Well, of course you're not allowed to use a calculator. Because you don't need one, really.
Yeah.
I made my son do this. I made my son do that without a calculator. He was mad. Because it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, you're not going to bed until you can solve this.
Oh my God.
Because it was a question in his homework, and I came in and I checked his homework, and he wrote the answer, and I was like, where's the work? Oh, I just did it all with my calculator. Oh, you did you? He looked in the back. I knew. I teach you guys. So I said, okay, so tell me what you punch into your calculator to do this. I looked in the back. I know you looked in the back. So now you can't go to bed until you do that without a calculator. And then he was like, and then it took him like 3 minutes, if that. I was pretty mad. Well, I was mad and happy, right? I was mad that he looked in the back of the book, mad that he tried to think that he was smarter than me. And then I was happy because he did that without a calculator. Okay, do math. Don't do 8 and 9. Because I don't want to explain the e to the n to you. Or e to the x. Depends on what your calculator calls it. I think it's e to the x, actually. Yeah, e to the x. When you come back after the break and your brains are rattled or unrattled, they're nice and relaxed, I'll tell you how to do those 2 questions. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. It might not be important enough to me. Tomorrow your trig tests will be ready. I did not mark them last night. It was my son's Christmas concert. I had to go and watch them play.
How old is your son?
Grade 9, 14. He's been dreading this time when he gets up to the grades that I actually teach because he knows he can't fool me anymore. Well, Dad, I didn't know that. Yeah, you did, son. Oh, but Dad, they didn't teach. But yeah, they did, son. But Dad, they didn't. Yeah, they did. Because see that textbook? I got that same textbook at school. But that helps him though, right? Because I have the programs to make the tests, and his teacher uses that same program. So I can give my son practice tests that are almost exactly the same as his real tests. I don't, because that's cheating. But I could, if I wanted to. But I don't, because that's cheating. It's not fair. And because my son can't fool me anymore, because he can actually do algebra without a calculator. That was his mistake. See how I trapped him, though? You can't go to bed until you do this without a calculator. So he was like, damn, I want to go to bed. So then he had to do it. So then that proved he could do it. So now he's in trouble. Because when he writes a test tomorrow, he better be able to do it. Because if he can't, coal in the stocking, baby, coal in the stocking. No, I would never do that. I know all of you think I'm that mean and that I would do that, but I never would. I don't know why you think I'm that mean. I'm not a mean guy. And tomorrow, all we're doing tomorrow is going over these answers and marking our test. Not marking, going over the test. If that only takes 20 minutes, you're going to have time off tomorrow. So feel free to bring some chips and popcorn. We'll watch Christmas cartoons. Yay. I know that's not very politically correct to show Christmas cartoons, but I'm sorry, there is a lack in Canada of availability of holy cartoons, a lack in Canada of availability of Kwanzaa cartoons, a lack in Canada of availability of Hanukkah cartoons, so you're stuck with Christmas cartoons. Sorry.
I love to watch the Mr. Bean stuff.
Mr. Bean's Christmas where he gets the turkey stuck on his head? That's good comedy.
I love that.
I've cooked a lot of turkeys. I've never gotten one stuck on my head. I know that's why it's funny, but really I find that sometimes Mr. Bean goes a little too far because the stuff that happens to him, it wouldn't ever really happen. And yet you still find it funny. I mean, to be fair, you find Wile E. Coyote funny, and if you blow something up with dynamite, it's dead.
Didn't you get a watch stuck in a turkey just to find it?
Yeah, that's what it was. I think. Wasn't that it? He got his watch in the turkey and then was looking for it and got the turkey stuck on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the airplane one too, the airplane one.
What?
The old Chip and Dale one with Donald Duck.
So yeah. So tomorrow, easy day. I know you all will be tired from carrying all my presents, so I don't want you to have to strain your brains and your bodies. There's a lot of stairs coming up. Betty has a few elevator keys to get all my presents here. Maybe you want to work together and get one elevator key and just do one load. Right? But remember, my tree isn't very tall, but that's okay. You can just pile it on the ground under the tree. It doesn't actually have to go under the tree. Right? Unless, of course, you're all getting me thousands of dollars of gift cards, and then they will fit under the tree. But gift cards are a bit of a cop-out, aren't they? Right? Like, I don't really know what to buy this person, and I don't want to give them cash because that's really cold, so I'm going to give them a gift card. Some people feel that way. It's kind of a cop-out. Well, I know that, but it's also the easiest gift, right? If you really enjoy giving, then you should think about the person you're getting the present for and get them something that works for them. For example, one year, James Sapalak got me for Christmas Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, which is funny because, right? I love that. Now, if you had gotten me, I don't know, the fact that it was Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, that's what made it. If you got me Paul Blart Mall Cop 1, then it wouldn't have been as cool. Yeah. Another kid knew how much I love to cook, but how much I hate fake pineapple taste. So that kid bought me pineapple flavored olive oil. Right? That's funny. That's cool.
Never heard of pineapple flavor.
Well, I haven't even opened it. It just sits in my cupboard, and people look in my cupboard, what the hell's that? Pineapple flavored olive oil. What would you use that for? I don't have any idea. What I should use it for is I should pour it on pizza, because some people put olive oil on pizza. If I made a tropical Easter, I'm going to make Hawaiian meatballs, and I'm going to fry them in the pineapple flavored olive oil. Merry Christmas. Wait, it's Hawaii. Mekaleka Maleki Maleka. I don't know how to say it. That song from Christmas Vacation. You guys know that, right? This is how we say Merry Christmas in Hawaiian. You know that song.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Yeah, it's...